there's a nuance of, you're all familiar with the victim perpetrator rescuer paradigm of we're either powerless victims, or we're wrong, bad, abusive perpetrators, or we're good, kind, caring rescuers that are making the world a better place, that are saving the victims from the perpetrators. And we're not saying these are the only positionalities of ego identity that human beings operate from. We would suggest that they are common ones. And we'd suggest that there's a fourth that is usefully delineated. And it's been delineated in other communications as what might be termed the uninvolved bystander perspective. We'd suggest there are more permutations of it than that are worthy of communicating. If we don't see ourselves in a situation either as a victim, a perpetrator, or a rescuer, and we see that drama triangle being acted out in front of us, and we choose not to resonate with victimhood, perpetratorhood, or rescuerhood for anyone that's involved in that, we could love unconditionally and compassionately. Or there are some folks that have a rationalized indifference to other people's plight. So the masculine sometimes can rationalize indifference to the fear, the stress, the worry, the anxiety, and the feelings of personal responsibility that many women in our world live through. All women, to one degree or another, can live through in regard to becoming pregnant or motherhood, and or whether to utilize birth control or those kinds of things, or how to be responsible as a mother. And that said, how many different groups would rationalize that unemotional, non-empathetic, non-compassionate indifference, or at least non-empathy, disassociation from another's emotional process, is somehow a sign of consciousness attainment, or superior capacity, or higher vantage point, or greater wisdom or discernment, or I'm not getting involved in that mess, so to speak. Look at me, I'm not doing that, and I'm somehow better than those who are seemingly lost in these turbulent dynamics. In essence, choosing not to care, not to love, not to empathize, not to serve, not to support, nourish, heal, or nurture others. And how many nations operate this way in regard to others? Is nationalism an expression of this rationalized indifference? Is war on any other nation an expression of this rationalized indifference to the pain, suffering, and destruction of others? Are there some elements of at least one, Vladimir Putin, who feels this way towards the Ukraine? He is not really concerned over how many people die or how much destruction of their culture or society occurs. That's not the whole of Russian society, and there are enough parts of the power system or the military of Russian society that are operating in this way, or at least not currently able to empathize or care enough or understand the pain and suffering of the Ukraine, that they're actually bombing and killing and damaging them, and they're unmindful or just don't care enough about all the people who are not going to get the food that the wheat that Ukraine would otherwise produce for the 10% of the wheat that they produce for the whole world, and the 30% of the wheat that they produce for the European Union. So, and of course, where is this indifference affecting decisions in regard to whether Russia turns off electricity to Finland, or diesel fuel to the UK, or to parts of the European Union or charges them higher prices. So we would suggest that it's really important to understand these dynamics if we truly want to have effect in the world. We're not suggesting vilifying any of these positionalities. We do suggest understanding them without expectation, without judgment, because if you do understand them, then you can not operate in resonance with them, you can operate in rapport with them, and empathy and compassion. You can talk people out of imagined disempowered victim states into realizing their power. You can help talk people through and out of operating as perpetrators in the world so that they care enough not to harm others. You can help rescuers not overgive and or ruin their life and their health in some way by giving so much and caring so much that they end up caretaking themselves to death while they're trying to help other people. And you can also communicate people who are currently indifferent, whether because of their political leanings or their spiritual leanings or their belief system or their nationalistic or populistic perspectives or tribal dynamics or narcissistic ego dynamics. You can help them understand it's really in your best interest to care and understand other people for these 10,000 reasons. Even if you don't care emotionally, your choices are going to affect the world, and those choices are going to come back to you. So if you care about yourself, you're going to learn to care about other people.